Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 17 of What If Naruto Was a Perfect Experiment. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, stay in tune for the rest of the series coming your way over on Anime King 2 and Anime King. If you're new, yes, you heard that correctly. You have not mistaken, I indeed have 3 channels. Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what you find every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be planning talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode start, the intro. So, the last part that we left off, as Naruto was making his way towards the battlefield, he arrived to where Teiwa and the others were. Teiwa instantly attacked him for leaving and not saying a damn thing. As Naruto toyed with her for a bit until he got serious as he told them to go back to the hidden zone, that he would handle things here. There were several different reactions, but none of them opposed him. Even though Seikon and Ukon might not like him, they still had to listen, as they knew who he was. Even Teiwa fell in line. So with that out of the way, as Naruto waited, it was then that Neji and the others show up. As they saw him, they heard what happened. Kiba was pissed off because he angered a lot of people back at Konoha. As Shikamaru didn't understand, why was Naruto doing this? But they had to retrieve Sasuke, and get Naruto back to the village is a big bonus, if they can. Shikamaru created several plans in his head as he tried the first one. But everything that they tried or did was meaningless compared to his strength, speed, and everything. He could not be whole, he could not be captured by them, as they were not strong enough. As Shikamaru realized there was no point, Lee had the power to increase his strength, speed, and agility, but Naruto didn't allow him to do that. Slamming his hands together, wood vines came from the ground and grabbed all of them. Their chakra was slowly sapped away. As Naruto dropped them, they were unable to do anything because they were too weak. He didn't kill them though. As the Sand team then show up, as the Sand was trying to get back in Konoha good graces, so they had sent Gaara. As it seems that what Naruto did help, because Gaara was a complete different person, and he did not understand Naruto's reasoning. He was trying to talk to him, but Naruto told him that he would not come back unless Temari gave him a kiss. As he promised that he would come back, they hassled for a bit until Naruto took her away, as she decided to give in to his demands. But he told her he didn't say when he would come back, as he left her with a wink and he was gone, leaving a very pissed off, angry Temari. Meanwhile, at the village, several things happened. 1. Sakura was determined to get stronger even more than before. 2. Kurenai shouted at Asuma in rage, as she was just so pissed off. And Anko was bottling up her feelings just like when Orochimaru left her, as it felt like the same exact thing. Tsunade was about to get some sleep until Naruto appeared in her compound, as she almost punched him senseless, but he simply smiled and gave her the vial of blood. She told him that many people would be really pissed off at him, but as a Hokage, keeping secrets, and allowing one of our most famous shinobis right now to be known as a missing man is what is necessary. As Naruto told her that she's doing nothing wrong. After all, he would do this in a heartbeat just to save Karen. As he spoke to her about a few more things. Some time later, Sasuke had woken up as he saw Naruto there. Naruto proceeded to beat the crap out of Sasuke to show him what he was in for, as he waited to see if Sasuke would give up or go back home. But he got back to his feet, as he was unwilling to give up, as that made Naruto smile, as he told him to get ready because he would be helping him. If he wants to become strong enough to kill Itachi, he would turn him to a being strong enough to kill Itachi, as that excited Sasuke as he clenched his fists. So yeah guys, it was basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across, so please check out for yourself. So, what do you say we begin this new episode? Let's get straight into it. We begin this new episode at Konoha, at a secret laboratory. The only person that sat inside was Tsunade, as she was currently at the table, as she was looking through a machine to get a close-up view of the sample on her table. She had a small syringe in her hand. As she pressed the knob, a small green liquid dropped on the blood that was on the table, on the vial, and it started to sizzle and boil. But it then exploded. Luckily, she was wearing her glasses as it splashed over it, and the face mask. She removed the glasses as she put them aside. She was close. She was almost there. If there was one thing that she had to agree on, it was that Orochimaru was a sick, twisted genius. Yeah, she had to give him that. It has been 2 years, 8 months since Naruto has left the village and became a missing nin. In her off time, she was able to work on what he gave her, and what she saw in Karen's blood was truly fascinating. If Orochimaru wasn't as twisted as he was, he could have done great work in the medical department. He was somehow able to bind his curse mark, but without putting his soul inside. As Naruto had explained exactly what his curse mark was, but there was no soul fragment inside of it. He added his chakra though. But he added different sources that were able to create something diabolical. A virus. A virus that constricted her in her heart. And with a simple activation of his chakra, he could squeeze and kill her, as it was all over her bloodstream. But the worst of it was right directly in her heart. It didn't cause her any physical pain unless he wanted to. Tsunade had gotten all the research from Naruto's wood clone that he had gotten from Kabuto's head. It seems like he had some other mind-reading person out there, but it helped a lot. She was doing this by herself and she could not focus on it at all times. That is why it took so long. But she was close, incredibly so. She was able to destroy it at least, but now she had to prevent it from killing Karen. That is what she's currently working on at the moment. Luckily, Naruto had told her who Karen was. He explained why he couldn't let her die, and she felt sorry for the kid, alone, suffering. He had no one but this woman. She decided to be there for him. If it wasn't for Karen, Naruto would have gone batshit crazy, and given how strong he was, Tsunade wasn't sure that Orochimaru wouldn't unleash him on the Hidden Leaf. And there, where would they be? After all, Naruto was able to hold her and Jiraiya back, and he was not even transformed. She had took some of his blood to make sure that she could use it in the process as well, seeing that his blood was able to produce this poison that she has never seen before. His blood was in a part of the cure that could destroy what is currently lurking inside of Karen, but just a small bit. And she was able to examine his blood. She wasn't sure what Orochimaru completely did to him, but there was just so much things mixed up inside of him. But there was also something dark in his blood, and she wasn't sure what that was because it had melted right through the beaker. That drop of darkness just vanished in the wind, like he was never there. She wasn't sure what that was, but she could tell that Orochimaru had placed different reptiles inside of Naruto. From snakes, the ancient snakes. There were some old theories that snakes could fly. Well, they weren't snakes, they were dragons, but they were almost the same reptile. Orochimaru had found some long time ago DNA at Ryukyu Cave, and they were said to be from dragons. They were here in the Siege of Six Path era, but they were said to go extinct. It seems like somehow Orochimaru had put it inside Naruto, as that would explain one of his transformations where his skin turned scaly. It wasn't only a snake, the horn would show that. It made her wonder if he had wings. She has not seen the final transformation that he could turn into, or the second or third. She hoped he never had to turn into it to turn against Konoha. As she looked back down, a lot has happened. For one thing, she had to turn Sasuke into a Missing as well, even though Naruto said that he would take care of him. It turns out that Naruto had gotten a lot of liking in the village. People were angry that she wasn't going to turn Sasuke into a Missing after doing the same to Naruto, so she had to do it, as there was too much talk. Even the daimyo was concerned about Naruto's action, as the brat had somehow get himself involved with the daimyo. So she had to tell the man what is going on, because he wanted to get involved, to use his troops to help get Naruto back to Konoha at any means necessary. So she had to inform him about what is going on. The daimyo was able to keep his mouth shut. It turns out that his daughter was crazy about the blonde. It had to be, knowing him. Tsunade sighed. Well, at least that problem was taken care of, but as for Jiraiya, he has only visited once or twice, as he's been out there searching, doing his research, barely from what she could see, given that he did not stay in Konoha for too long to peep on the bathhouses. She was almost tempted to tell him, but knowing him, Naruto told her not to because Orochimaru knew that Jiraiya was tracking him, and he wanted the track to look real. Tsunade did this for him, as Jiraiya would be too concerned, saying that Naruto would have to be rescued, and they have to break the plan. He was the only thing that reminded Jiraiya that Minato was here. He was his legacy. Tsunade was worried as well, but she was confident in his skills, and that has to be the role of being Hokage. She had to be confident in her shinobi as well. As for Anko, she has been, well, normal. It's strange. Tsunade knew that she was keeping it all in though. And Kurenai, it seems like her and Naruto had something as well. There was some talks about her and Asuma, a little arguing, but she wasn't sure what it was about fully. Kakashi on the other hand, she didn't know if he suspected something, but he was nonchalant and talked calm about everything. Shizune definitely suspected something, but she didn't know exactly what is going on, as Naruto friends also wonder what the hell was going on as well, but she couldn't tell any of them. She had heard the report from the Sand team. The person that knew something that he should not was Shikamaru. The boy was so smart he was able to figure out a thing or two, but he did not verbally say anything to her, just from the looks on his face, and when she spoke about it when they had came back from their mission, and not even one of them got any fatal wounds from the man that could just exterminate them all. So he knew things that he should not. As for Sakura, she has been training soccer for the past 2.5 years when she could. The girl was serious to get stronger and she would not back down. As Tsunade returned back to her research, she just hoped that the brat is not doing too much that would get him in any lasting trouble. Meanwhile, at the Hidden Sound, in one of the many bases spread all over the nation, a smaller base near the Land of Grass, stood one Sasuke Uchiha. The Uchiha has been training non-stop, brutally for the past 2+ years. As Sasuke stood out in the open, in an open field, his eyes were closed. As he stood there, one hand on his blade, it was then that he drew his blade and sliced the incoming water bullet. He turned and sliced through several others. A massive shower of water then came down towards them. As Sasuke went through one-handed seals, as a massive earth wall rose up, blocking the shower of water that spread all over instead of soaking him. As he had learned a lot, even going past his natural affinity, which is lightning and fire, learning earth. He was worse at wind. He couldn't do wind style to save his life, but he was able to adapt to earth. And a small portion of water. He needed it all to get stronger. Orochimaru is not the only teacher. That is his reason. As someone started to walk over towards him. Come on. We've run this drill at least 100 times. Why do we have to keep on doing this? As the voice that spoke was a teen. He had blue hair bordering on white. Purple eyes. He was wearing a purple shirt with tan pants. His name was Suigetsu. He also had a sharp teeth that poked out of his lip. Suigetsu from Kiri. He was one of Orochimaru's experiments that was let loose by Naruto. Because he was fun. Orochimaru, what he wanted to do had failed with Suigetsu. So he just left Naruto be with him. And Suigetsu has been helping Sasuke train to hone his instincts. Sasuke didn't like people that were too talkative, but while he was around Naruto, that had changed because, well, Naruto pissed him off more than once by just talking. And also there was a mark right on Sasuke's cheek, like a slash, as it went straight down to his neck. Consequences of training with Naruto. But that didn't matter. Naruto gave him what he wanted, what he desired, and that was strength. Strength that he will use to kill Itachi. It is necessary to the voice, but it was not Sasuke's. As Sasuke turned to see Kimimaro, another one of Orochimaru's lackeys. With the help of Karin and Orochimaru, they were able to save Kimimara's life from his deadly disease. It was a side effect of using the bones in his body, but they were able to save him. Kimimaro had become some sort of guard for Sasuke because of Orochimaru told him to watch over him and make sure that Sasuke was alright, as Sasuke did not need any guard. Sasuke has to be ready to face off against his brother, and he has to be prepared for anything. He's right, Sasuke said. So, do as I say, as he looked towards Suigetsu. You know, I'm not your personal errand boy or something like that. Sasuke turned his face towards Suigetsu. Naruto told you to do exactly what I say. Aren't you going to listen? He asks. As Suigetsu frowned at that. One of these days that card is gonna run out, he said, as he frowned and turned his head. Where is he anyway? As Suigetsu looked around. As Sasuke turned towards Kimimaro, at that same moment, blue eyes snapped open. As he lay there in the bed, he blinked several times before his eyes adjusted to the ceiling. As he looked down toward himself, as he was shirtless. Not just that he was downright naked. As he tried to pull himself up, but something was on his left, and also on his right as he glanced over to see Kin. As she was alive, Orochimaru had used Dosu and Zaku 4, the first and the second Hokage, and another Sound Ninja 4, the fourth, that had failed to emerge. Orochimaru knew that Naruto had a fascination for the girl, so he had spared her because of that. As Naruto tried to move his other arm, but it was held on to as well by none other than Teiwa. As he sighed, what happened last night? He really couldn't remember, but he was sure that it would come to him. Being here brought back many memories of the fun time, as he's been doing nothing but crazy shit over the past 2.5 years. Several times Ray got close to finding him, but he always managed to escape before the white-haired Sonic could see him at all. He had get a report from Tsunade recently he was getting close. As much as it was fun being here, he kind of missed Konoha, and not to mention he was worried for Karin. If Orochimaru ever found out about this, well, he would try to make him suffer, so he wanted Tsunade to hurry up to do what she had to do. But the Akatsuki should be moving soon, after all. They should be going after the tail beasts. They were also a problem of his, as they would hunt him down, so he had to exterminate them. As Naruto's hands shifted, as they turned light, as he slipped them from underneath the girls without even tussling them one bit. As he pulled himself up without his hands getting to his feet, his hands then returned back to normal. As Naruto stepped towards a full-length mirror, as he was in his room, which was larger than any other stone room anywhere he go. He had grown over the past 2.5 years. He was already tall, but now he was 6'3". His body just sprouted up. As he checked himself out fully nude in the mirror, his hair, he allowed it to grow out, as it was now reaching into his back. No scar anywhere in sight. His body was unblemished and clean. As he looked down towards his stomach, as he chuckled softly to himself, the Akatsuki will be coming after him. Little did they know, he doesn't have what they want anymore. With that, he opened the door, still completely nude. As several sound ninjas saw him, they averted their eyes. But Naruto simply walked as he made his way towards the hot, relaxing shower. As he decided to take a hot shower, relaxing for about a good half an hour, he emerged. As he returned, once he did, the girls were awake. As they were just talking, Teiwai didn't get along with most people, but she got along with King. You know, I must say it's a good sight seeing you walking around naked, but I'm sure it is not for the other, so ninjas, especially the males. Screw them, said Naruto. If they have something to say about it, let them speak. But, cautiously. You know they won't, said Teiwai, because he'll just take off their heads, or hurt them, and way worse than death. As she propped down on the bed. They're all just jealous, said Naruto. I mean, look at me. I'm like a walking deity. As he made his way, as he got some clothing, as he got dressed, as he placed on a coat. It could not button and could not close. It showed off his well-toned six-pack, as it had no sleeves. He got dressed in the black pants, black boots, and fingerless black gloves. As he tied his hair up in a ponytail, as he looked in the mirror checking himself out once again. Where are you going, said Ken. I thought we would have some more fun. Maybe later, said Naruto. There's some things I gotta do. Like what, said Teiwai. Important things. And let me guess, shithead, you're not gonna tell us, are you? As Naruto gave her a smile, she flipped him off. You know what? Why don't you guys have fun while I'm not here? I mean, that's always exciting. See you guys later, as he left. As Kin looked over towards Teiwai. Well, it wouldn't be the first. And not the last, said Teiwai. As Naruto slowly made his way. Meanwhile, as Sasuke was currently sitting down, as he was thinking about a lot of things until he heard a voice. My foolish little brother. Sasuke spun around, only to come face to face with Naruto. He clenched his fists. I told you to stop doing that. Come on, it's fun, said Naruto, as he patted Sasuke on the shoulder before sitting beside him. What the hell are you doing, he asked. Are you monologuing? What? Said Sasuke. You know, sitting by yourself, thinking about your plans like, I'm gonna leave this place, fine, and exterminate Itachi. Is that what you're up to? I don't know what you're talking about, said Sasuke. As Naruto laughed. You know, you should really start to consider getting your life going. I mean, after killing Itachi, what's next for you? I'm going to restart my clan and bring the Uchihas back to glory. Well, considering that you're only one person, you're gonna need a bunch of wives. As Sasuke looked at Naruto without saying anything. I mean, you might as well start to practice. There's a lot of girls here in the Hidden Sound. And, because of how close you are to Orochimaru, they will drop their pants the instant you ask. But you don't do that. They are not important right now. But how will you have practice? Do you want your first time being with a girl that you actually care about and she told you? That's awful. Sasuke glanced towards the blonde. Like he was surprised. Yeah, that can really happen, said Naruto. Sasuke turned his head as he focused back on the horizon. Once Itachi is dead, things will change. But you still won't have any experience, said Naruto. Know what, I'm gonna do you a favor and find you a beautiful kunoichi. No, Sasuke said, a bit too fast. I can do that myself. As Naruto burst out laughing. What's so funny, Sasuke asked. You're so antisocial, said Naruto. But I'll wait. Once Itachi is dead, I'll see what you do, said Naruto, as he got back to his feet. As he looked over the horizon, Sasuke then asked, what about you? Once Itachi is dead, what will you do? Perhaps take over the world, said Naruto. What? Said Sasuke. You heard me. Perhaps take over the world or Destroy all the nations and create a new one. Sasuke looked at Naruto like he had grown a third head or something. I'm kidding, said Naruto. Perhaps build a village with at least 10,000 girls and have my own personal ultimate harem. You're kidding, right? Said Sasuke. Sasuke, said Naruto as he gripped both of Sasuke's shoulders. I never kid about something like that. Sasuke was surprised at the seriousness on Naruto's face. Before he shrugged off his arms, Konoha ninjas will never stop hunting after you. And if I go back, it will just make things worse on you. Because the effort that has been split to hunt after me will also go after you as well. You let me worry about that, said Naruto. You just get stronger. What? I'm ready now to defeat Itachi, Sasuke said. You believe that, huh? Well, why don't we go find Itachi? Wait, really? Sasuke asks. Yeah, soon, said Naruto. Very, very soon. Don't worry, we'll find him. And you'll have your one-on-one session with him. But if you lose, you know it's all over, right? Sasuke clenched his fist in rage. I won't lose, he said. And what makes you so certain? I haven't spent the last 2.5+ years putting my body through hell, even getting this damn scar by you, of all person, to lose. Yeah, that was pretty nasty. Thought you would die, said Naruto. Then why did you do it? You were too slow. Sasuke glared at the blonde, who simply laughed off his glare like it was nothing. As Sasuke watched him, Sasuke didn't know how strong Naruto was because during their fight he has never actually transformed, and Sasuke knew that he could. But the blonde was different. So much confidence that came off him, it seems like he was almost untouchable. But Sasuke knew one person that the blonde cared about a lot, and that was Karin. Sasuke never thought you'd find a person that Naruto cared about so much, but the girl was like a sister to him. Sasuke dreaded a person that would ever mess with her or cause her any harm. They would certainly suffer a fate worse than death. As someone came walking up behind them, as Naruto turned, Gurren. It's lovely to see you. Gurren frowned. I see you're taking your job as Kabuto number 2 perfectly well. Ever since the disappearance of Kabuto, Gurren has taken over his role for Orochimaru, right-hand man. She did not elaborate on what she really wanted to say. Orochimaru-san wishes to see you, she told him. Is that so, said Naruto. You know, Gurren, out of all the powerful kunoichis here, you're the only one I haven't really slept with. What do you say you and I get together? I would rather burn in hell first. Sasuke started to chuckle at that. Oh, what's so funny, said Naruto. Someone actually turning you down. She likes me, said Naruto, but she's just afraid of me. But why is the reason, said Naruto. Perhaps because you're worse than a monster. Worse than a monster? No, that hurts. I mean, how could you say that to someone like me? I'm so kind, generous, sweet. Gurren, you really shame me, said Naruto, as he walked towards her. Perhaps if I am worse than a monster, I should tear your heart out of your chest. Gurren tensed a bit, as Naruto started to laugh. Easy, easy. Do you really think I'm so bad? He shook his head. Let's go, he said. As I said, Sasuke, pretty soon, as he walked off. Moments later. What is it, said Naruto. You're addressing me. Never seemed to amuse me, Orochimaru said, as he sat on his throne. You know I'm busy, said Naruto, so what is it? Well, for one thing, the Akatsuki is making their move. I've got information who their first target is. It's Gaara of the desert. Is that so, said Naruto. This will be a perfect opportunity for you to ambush them in the desert, while they're with the Sanjinjoki, and annihilate them. You know, you're so afraid of this group, you're willing to send me out once again to run away. Oh, but you won't, would you now, Naruto-kun? I mean, you've been a good boy these past 2.5 years, so don't ruin it now. As Naruto smiled, yes, suppose I won't. But one thing first, you rarely mention the leader of the group, with the so-called famous renegades. You didn't mention how exactly you were brought into the fold, but you told me you did have an encounter with him. Did he send you running with your tails between your legs? The renegades are very powerful dojutsu. Far more powerful than the Sharingan, if I must say. So, when the time comes for you to face off against him, you better watch yourself, or you will die. As Naruto scoffed, you think I can die? Or that so-called leader of the Akatsuki can kill me? Well, I will be sure to be watching the fight. I'm sure that it will be marvelous. Why don't you tell me where he is right now, so I can exterminate him? Easy, Naruto-kun. You're being a bit too jumpy. The time will be ready soon enough. Now, why don't you go and wipe out 2 of the members? After all, we want to take them out, 2 by 2. Do you need any backup for this? If you send anyone with me, they will die in the crossfire, said Naruto. Exactly what I expect you to say. I'll be expecting you shortly. No dilly-dally, okay? As Naruto turned his back and walked away. Once he was gone, Gurren spoke. Are you sure that's a wise idea to send him out once again? He has learned his place. Don't worry, he won't be leaving once again. Knowing him, Gurren said. You can never tell. Well, he's become an obedient person now. I made sure of that by moving her here. As Gurren nodded. Meanwhile, as Naruto made his way to open the doors, he saw Kimimaro, shirtless. As he saw Karen checking over him, she stepped back. Yep, it's all gone, she said. You have a full bill of health. Thank you, Karen-san, said Kimimaro. As he put on his shirt. As he gave Naruto a nod, Naruto-san, as he walked past him. They did not get along because Naruto always found a way to disrespect Orochimaru while he was talking, and Kimimaro, who was indebted to Orochimaru, did not like that one bit. It was always Naruto-san, or one few words. You know, if I didn't know any better, I would say, you two were in here doing something unpleasant. Karen threw one of the paperweights towards him as he caught it. If I didn't know any better, I would say I would slap you over the head with one of those paperweights. As Naruto chuckled a bit. So, he's okay now. Yes, everything went perfectly. She saw the look on his face. Is there something you want to tell me? I'll be going after the Akatsuki. Please tell me you're not going alone. After what Orochimaru has says about them. Come on, Karen. You, more than anyone else, know how strong I am. After all, you test me on a daily basis to make sure I'm fine. I know. But I still worry about you, idiot, she said. As Naruto gave her a pleasant smile. I'll be just fine. You just continue your little research here. As Naruto moved forward to give her a hug. As he whispered something in her ear. As she nodded. Nodded with a simple movement of her head. As he broke apart. I won't be gone soon. I'll bring you back a present, he said. As a smile came on her face. Really? What, she asked. I don't know yet, said Naruto. But I'm going to eat in sand, so expect something dusty. As her sweat dropped. Just because it's in sand doesn't mean that it's gonna be dusty. Who knows, said Naruto. Perhaps I'll bring you back a rock. What will I do with a rock? Well, it's from the hidden sand, and it's gonna be dusty. She picked up another paperweight. Get out of here, before I slap you over the head with this. Come on, the rock is... Naruto ducked as the paperweight, slammed into the wall. You're not kidding. I said get your ass out of here. As Naruto started to back away. And be careful, okay? As he popped his head in. I'll be fine. See you later, he said. And with that, he was gone. Karen sat down. Despite coming to hate Orochimaru, she had still loved doing research and, well, experiments. She didn't like to do them on humans, but having different bloods and testing them and twisting them into something new. She liked the thrill of creating something powerful and new. Orochimaru had created Naruto basically. Well, he didn't make him, but he turned him into the most powerful. She was just worried about him, but she knew that he could handle himself against almost anyone. As more than anyone else, she knew how strong he was. But she was also worried sick about him. Although sometimes she didn't like his rather lecherous attitude when it comes towards women. She knew that deep down he was a good person, and she just wanted to make sure that he was okay. Just like how she had imprinted on him as a sister figure back in the past. He had imprinted on her like a little brother. But they were playing a risky game. And for one thing, she didn't want to die. Yes, she was afraid of death, but what she was afraid of, even more, was leaving Naruto all alone. Somehow, after all the experiments, it's hard for him to truly care for anyone else. He cared for her, but not many other people. And she knew what would happen if she were to die. He would let that thing out. And she was not speaking of the Kyuubi. After all, if the Akatsuki thought that he had the Kyuubi inside of him, well, they would be surprised. But she knew something else that was inside of him. And she had saw it once. And that was when he had went to the land of grass, where she had grew up, where those monsters had took her mother away and used her. What he did there was beyond devastating, and that thing that emerged once he was fighting. She didn't want to see that again, because he was almost taken away and lost in madness. Meanwhile, "What?" said Sasuke. "You heard me. I'm leaving to go kill the Akatsuki." All of them, including Itachi. Sasuke sent Naruto a harsh glare. "Come on, I'm just kidding. I thought you'd get my jokes by now. I'm just going after Deidara and Sorcery. Two members, one from the Hidden Stone, Missing and one from the Sand. How ironic. But I'm gonna use them to get information on Itachi. Remember I told you sooner or later, right?" "Yeah," said Sasuke. "So once I get back, we will find and murder Itachi. What do you say? A good whole brother murder festival." Sasuke eye twitched at that. As Naruto patted him on the shoulder, "I'll see you in about 2 or 3 days. Well, see ya," as he was gone. Sasuke sat down as he placed his sword on the table. He was gonna finally get his revenge. But another thought popped into his head. After he was finished with Itachi, he was gonna have to restart his clan. As much as Naruto always said it was right, he was antisocial. He didn't really know how to talk or react that much around people, especially the opposite gender. And he would have to, well, he was a bit scared by the thought. Suddenly there was a knock on his door. As Sasuke got up, wondering who it was, when he opened it, there was a woman standing there. She had blue hair. She seemed to be in her early 20s. She had blue hair and blue eyes. She was wearing a gown, a bit see-through, allowing Sasuke to see her undergarments. He averted his gaze. "Hello," he said. "Can I help you?" As she stepped inside. "Nice room," she said. As she closed the door, she even locked it behind her. Sasuke was confused. As he stepped back, "What do you want?" he asked. "Oh, no need to fret," she said. "Naruto-sama was the one that sent me. He told me I should let you understand what you are gonna do after your change of life fight. And I should make you understand how a female body works. Don't worry. He told me that you didn't have much experience. Well, he said that you were a wuss and a pansy boy." Sasuke, I twitched at that. "Sorry about that. He told me I had to repeat it. And he told me I should take very good care of you, which I'm here to do. So, don't worry, Uchiha-sama," she said. "I'll take control. I'll give you the ride of your life," she told him. Sasuke gulped as a sweat ran down his forehead. Was this really gonna happen? Time skip. As Naruto was making his way, he was sure that Emiko had reached Sasuke's room by now. She was experienced and she would show the Uchiha the rope. Crazy enough, Naruto had come to like the Uchiha. Despite his self-proclaimed going off to kill Itachi, he was a good person. Well, he was just messed up in the head. As Naruto can see himself in Sasuke, being through so much that he had to do certain things. And the Uchiha need to understand what life is about. And it was all about human contact. Well, sex basically. How could he go so long without doing it? I mean, it was just so awesome. As Naruto quickly made his way, it was night as he ran, leaving the hidden town. He had already talked to who he had to talk to. Now he had to get to the sand. Time skip. Gaara sat in his office. After becoming stable, the people still feared him, but after they saw the wonderful job that he was doing for the village, they came to respect him as their Kazekage. It was bumpy in the beginning, but he did not give up no matter what, and now he was their Kazekage, and people admire and respect him. And he would not let them down. No one has heard anything much about Uzumaki, as he had come to respect him after all. He was the one that changed him for the better. There were many villages, many rumors going around, that he was dead and killed by another village to get his bounty. But Gaara doubted that, given the strength that he had displayed all those years ago, and he must have gotten so much more stronger. So Gaara wasn't sure about those rumors. Meanwhile, with Temari, she was currently sitting on her bed, as she was reading her book. Her wonderful book she was reading. It wasn't really a normal book. It was a romance book, erotic. As she felt all hot reading it, just by going through the pages, the words, the way they describe things. It was her alone time, so no one would know, or, well, no one would know, as she sat down. She enjoyed a little romantic book every now and then. People had gotten warmed up to her brother, so they don't fear to come to ask her out once again. Because at first they used to fear to even step near her, but now they don't fear her that much. Well, they didn't fear her, they fear Gaara killing them. But things were good now. But still, she found no one that was worthy of her time. All of them were just some egotistical bastards who only want to claim that they slept with the Kazekage's sister, judging by their way they date and everything like that. So she never found the time to be romantic with any of them. A few dates she went on over the past 2.5 years, but nothing that went beyond anything. She hadn't really slept with anyone. To be frank, ever. She hadn't slept with anyone ever. Not to mention, as a thought popped in her head, her kiss with the Uzumaki was her first real kiss. Yes, as surprising as it was, when she was younger no one stepped near her, so that was a reason. Because of Gaara. And she never pursued anyone because she was afraid that Gaara might kill them when he was angry. So she always leave people at a distance. But now things have changed, but still, she has not yet done anything. She didn't know, perhaps she liked the Nara at Konoha. She didn't talk to him that much, but she was a liaison for the Sand, and he was a liaison for Konoha. So they spoke every now and then. Perhaps he could be a good person to be with. But for now, as she returned back to her book, that is when she saw something pass her window. What the hell? She was not exactly on the first floor of the house, so she wondered what the hell just passed her window. As she looked around, there was nothing. As she opened and looked outside, there was only a few birds in the sand, rarely seen because of the heat. So it was uncommon to see birds a lot out here. But there was nothing out there. She turned away, leaving the window open, as she heard something behind her. That is when she heard a voice back at the window. It's been a long while. Her eyes widened when she heard that voice. It sounded a bit deeper, but it was that voice. After someone take your first kiss, it was the only thing that she could think about for a while. And she had dreamed about it. And she couldn't mistake it. She wondered if she was dreaming, because most of her dreams started out this way. A common night, with him appearing, and then things went beyond the point of no return. You have grown into a fine, wonderful kunoichi, if I must say. As she reached behind her pillow for a kunai that was hidden there, she grabbed and turned and threw it, as he reached up and caught it between his two fingers. Come on, I'm here to visit you and you want to kill me. As he jumped down inside of the house. Nice place. He ducked as she swung after him. As he flipped around her, he picked up the book. As her eyes went wide, what he did, she went after him but he stepped aside as her fist slammed into the bed. What's this? As he ducked once again, avoiding her blows despite not looking at her. Is this an erotic book? He turned as she ran right into him as he grabbed both of her hands and spun her around as the both of them plopped on the bed. As they were so close, their noses were touching. She frowned, but he held on to her so she could not get up. What are you doing here? It was brave of you to step foot in my village, knowing that you're a missing and that we're allied with Konoha. We won't allow you to leave. Who said I want to leave? Said Naruto. I mean, I'm here for you. I told you I would be back for you. I mean, who could give you that promise and left you? Have you seen you? Said Naruto. A small blush came to her face as she fighted to go away. Well, you made a big mistake, because you won't leave. As she reached her foot up and wrapped it around him, holding on to him. As Naruto's eyes went wide. Well, that's a good way of keeping me to stay. As he started to move, his body started to vibrate. As she felt a sensation, as Naruto leaned down towards her ear. Come on, why do we have to fight? I mean, I'm not a bad guy. I haven't really killed any of your friends or done anything bad. For one thing, I actually saved Gaara. As she felt her breath coming out a bit raspy. I'm missing in, but not from your village. So give me a break, huh? He said as he flipped her over. So now she was sitting on his waist, her legs wrapped around him. She tried to detach herself, but his arm wrapped around her back. You don't know how much I've missed you, Temari. Why the hell were you thinking about me? Do you want me to say it again? Look at you, said Naruto. How could I not? Well, I have not been thinking about you. Well, I'm disappointed, said Naruto. I thought at least you'd be thinking about me. But I guess not, as he lowered his head. You think you can make me feel sorry for you? Oh, that's not what I'm trying. Then let me go. Alright, fine, said Naruto. As he released her, she detached herself from him. She picked up her kunai and she pointed towards his face. Now, you're coming with me. I'm taking you back to Konoha. Alright, once it's over, I'll come with you. But can I have something? What do you want? One last request. After all, when I get locked up, this will be the last time you'll ever see me, so I only want one thing from you. And I'm sure that you want the same as well. What the hell would I ever want from you? For us to sleep together. Are you crazy? Do you really think as Naruto wrapped the arm around her as he had moved so fast? Come on, Temari, he said, as his fingers slowly trailed down her back. It would be amazing. As Temari felt her body trembling because of his touch, and not to mention she had just read her book and several images were popping up in her head. And to make things worse, he lifted her up as she yeeped a bit as he pressed her against the wall. As he slowly bit on her neck, she raised her fist as she punched him right in the face. But her strength was not in it, as she found her body and her limbs going weak. She had to remind herself, you're a bad person. He's a bad person, as she pushed him off. As she fell before picking herself up. No, we're not gonna do this, she said. As Naruto slipped behind her, his hands trailing down her waist. But why not? As he once again bit on her neck and nibbled on her ear. She turned and swung as she pushed him back to the wall. As she pressed him up against it, she pulled the kunai and placed at his throat. Touch me like that again, and I'll slit your throat, she told him. As he leaned into the kunai though, surprising her. Before gently placing a kiss on her forehead despite the kunai pressing against his throat, it did not cut him. As she lost feeling in her hand as she slowly brought it down so she would not hurt him. What the hell was she thinking? He was the enemy! But she couldn't find in herself to actually cause him any pain. As he whispered in her ear, she felt a jolt run through her body. Just this once. Why not risk it, since this will be the last time you'll see me? As she felt herself breathing hot and heavy, as she looked at him as the kunai dropped and embedded in the ground. Fine. Just this once since I won't see you again, she said. As she couldn't help her desires anymore, she wrapped arms around him as he lifted her up, as their lips intertwined. Meanwhile, that was going on. Are we there yet? Say that one more time, and I'll murder you. said Sasori as he was fed up with his partner. Come on, Sasori. It's boring out here. When are we gonna reach? We're almost there. Be quiet. Later aside, fine, he said, as the group was making their way towards the hidden stand to capture Gaara. Unknowingly, there was a surprise waiting there for them, and the surprise was in the form of one, Naruto Uzumaki. A being that would make them regret ever coming here. But guys, let me end subscribe right here. If you want to see this person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform. And also, guys, stay tuned for their stories coming your way over Anime King and Anime King 2, which I hope you guys enjoy. But for now, I'm out. See you guys soon. Peace.